Project Hail Mary is the newest movie directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. It is based off of the novel of the same name written by Andy Weir. In this adaptation written by Drew Goddard, there are some things going on with the sun that are putting the planet at risk, and in particular the planet's population at a great risk of depleting a large amount in the near future. And Ryan Gosling's character, who is a science teacher, is pretty much forced into partaking in this mission that will take multiple years. And in the midst of this mission, he comes across an alien who ends up being a very kind of sweet and funny creature. And thus we have a pretty fun, enjoyable space adventure, which that was a breath of fresh air with this movie, because most space movies I can think of, space-related films I can think of that I've seen, tend to be pretty stress-inducing, pretty intense, and although you definitely get some of those moments here, for the most part, it was a little bit more lighthearted than most of those movies. I really enjoyed the dynamic between Gosling's character, whose name is Grace, and this alien who comes across, who he coins as Rocky. Their dynamic they had together, and just Rocky as a character, he ends up being translated into English, what he's saying, and they're able to communicate with each other, was such a great part of the film, such a heartwarming aspect of it. And yeah, I thought that Ryan Gosling did a great job here. He's definitely playing a character that I have seen him play before, and that most of you have probably seen him play before. It's a little bit familiar, but it didn't really bother me. I thought it was a really strong performance, and he even has a few scenes here where he gets to show off his dramatic acting chops, and I thought that he did a great job in those moments too. Storytelling-wise, I found it to be pretty interesting too. It's non-linear. It's not from beginning to end. You kind of go back and forth between different parts of this story, from the section on Earth, everything that's happening there, the prelude to the mission, and then the mission and everything that's going on in space. And it's interesting. At first I thought, oh, it's like Memento, where it's like the end and the beginning, then end the beginning, then it ends in the middle. Like I thought that's what it was going for. It doesn't exactly do that, but it does jump back and forth between different parts of the story in some pretty cool ways. I feel like it balanced the tones very well too, which is kind of rare to see. I feel like in a lot of movies nowadays where you're balancing comedy and drama, it just feels uneven a lot of the time. I'm looking at you, Marvel. For the vast majority of this film, I did not feel that way. There's a few moments, a few jokes that are made where I was like, I feel like that would have been made if there was more of a straight up comedy and not a comedy drama. But besides those couple of brief moments, I thought that it balanced those tones greatly. I also got to talk about the visuals here, because there is a fair amount of CGI and a fair amount of green screen. And it does look really good when it's used, and it's used a good amount here. But there's also a lot of practicality to the visuals in this movie. There's a lot of stuff that's in camera. From what I've heard, a lot of Rocky in this movie is actually a real robotic that was operating on set as like a scene partner to Gosling. And that's great. I think that's awesome to see. I love seeing any kind of practical visuals in movies. Don't get me wrong, I like the computer stuff and the visual effects too, but it's just nice to see stuff that's actually there on the set and in front of the camera. And if I wasn't aware of Lord and Miller's background in animation, I probably would be able to guess that they had experience with animation while watching this movie, because there is a quirkiness to this movie, to the visuals, and to the way that the visuals are orchestrated and just the way it's shot. A little hard to really describe. You just got to see it, and you'll kind of get that vibe from it. There's, as the kids say these days, there's an aura to the way that this movie is presented, to the visuals, where it's like, yeah, it almost feels like an animated movie, even though it's live action. I do wish there was a little bit more fleshing out of the premise in the prelude to the mission section of this movie. Parts of it feel a little bit rushed, parts of it feel kind of quick and just really abrupt to me. But overall, I thought that this movie was great, and like I said, just a super fun space adventure film with some very appropriately done dramatic and heartfelt moments. It's one of my favorite movies that Lord Miller had ever made as well, and I'm going to rate it a 9.5 out of 10. If you all have seen this movie, please let me know what you think about it, and with that said, I will see you in my next video. Peace out.